discussing structural processing. So this is the second part. The first part was in lecture number 12. In today's lecture we're going to discuss information used to build structure. There are three elements to be discussed today: lexical information, prosody, and non-linguistic information. A general overview: there are three types of information available to the parser which help it form a mined internal structure of the signal. As I've said before in the previous lecture, the parser receives input, receives just sound, and its job is to help you understand by creating a syntactic structure. There are three types of information which help your parser create this syntactic structure. The first is lexical information. The second is prosodic information, and the third is non-linguistic information. We're going to look at these three types of information in detail in the next few slides. Let's start with the first one, lexical information. As I've said before, the direct input to the parser is a set of words ordered linearly. So as you are listening to someone, there are no trees, you are just listening to linear set of words following each other. Alright? The parser's job is to figure out how these words are related hierarchically. Okay? Lexical material do not provide the parser with semantic information only. Lexical material can contain morphosyntactic information too. Let's consider this ambiguous sentence. Mary understood the problem, had no solution. This ambiguous sentence has two meanings. In the first meaning, the problem can be an object. Mary understood the problem but had no solution. Okay? So Mary understood the problem but had no solution. This is the first meaning. So in this meaning, Mary had no solution. Okay? In the second meaning, the problem can be the subject. Mary understood, this is the first element, the problem had no solution. So in this second meaning, the problem does not have solution. In the first meaning, Mary had no solution. In the second meaning, the problem itself had no solution. So how did the lexical information help us understand that this sentence is ambiguous? Because we know that the phrase, the problem, can act either as an object or as a subject. This fact helped us understand that the sentence is ambiguous. The sentence has more than one meaning. So this is the first thing which helps you understand spoken text or spoken material. It is lexical information. The first thing is lexical information. The second thing, which is more apparent, which is clearer than the previous one, is the prosody. The prosody is the intonation and phrasing of a sentence. Let's consider how changing the intonation can influence the meaning of this sentence. In this sentence, which is the same sentence, pronounced differently, with different intonations, the blue color indicates rising intonation. The black indicates falling intonation. So I'm going to read these two sentences, and I'm going to ask you, as you are listening, to figure out how did the meaning changed. They invited Sue, and Jim and Amanda got rejected. So, they invited Sue for raising intonation. They invited Sue, and Jim and Amanda got rejected. Okay, so here we had a raising intonation at the beginning, then the intonation fold, starting from and Jim and Amanda got rejected. Let's pronounce it a bit differently. They invited Sue and Jim, and Amanda got rejected. They invited Sue and Jim, and Amanda got rejected. Okay? The meaning of the first is that only Sue was invited. The rest were rejected. They invited Sue, and Jim and Amanda got rejected. The second, they invited Sue and Jim, and Amanda got rejected. And the second way to pronounce it, only Amanda was rejected. Why? Because we had raising intonation for the first two participants, for the first two people. Okay, so this is how intonation changes the meaning. So as you are listening, you are making use of this information. You are making use of intonation in order to understand what the speaker is trying to say. You are making use of the prosody to help you understand what the speaker is saying. Okay, this is the second type of information which you make use of as a listener to understand the speech. The third is non-linguistic information. What is non-linguistic information? For example, real-world knowledge. Real-world knowledge helps the listener in processing, which means understanding, in processing the signal. Let's consider this sentence together. Put the apple on the towel in the box. This is an ambiguous sentence. Okay, this is an ambiguous sentence. It means more than, it has more than one meaning. The sentence is ambiguous if you cannot see the apple, the towel, and the box. If you don't have this knowledge, if you cannot see it with your eyes, if you cannot see these three elements, the apple, the towel, and the box, the sentence or the instruction, put the apple and the towel in the box, is going to be ambiguous. However, if you are looking at them, if you can see them, this sentence is not going to be ambiguous. Okay? There are two meanings for the sentence. The first is that the apple can be already in the towel and you are asked to put it in the box, or the towel can be inside the box and you are asked to put the apple on the towel which is inside the box. These are the two meanings. So if you can see these three elements, it is going to be easy for you to understand what the speaker is saying. It is going to be easier for you to understand the instruction if you can see these three elements. If you cannot see them, then it is going to be ambiguous because you do not have the real world knowledge. Right, let's do the exercise together. Which of the following helps the listener in perceiving the signal? Lexical information, or prosody, or non-linguistic information, or all of the previous items are correct. So let's go back to the lecture. These we can see in today's lecture that these types of information, these three types of information, are all helpful for you to understand spoken texts. As you are listening, as you are perceiving the signal, all of these three are useful. So the answer is D. All the previous items are correct. Thanks very much for listening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next lecture.